I'm 34. I'm an art history major. I go to LACC. For the last 2.5 years, I've been homeless, primarily due to disagreements with my family and my community, which is a largely religious community. As a person who's gay and out, it caused a lot of friction. It resulted in them closing their doors on me, and ultimately I was left homeless. My parents wouldn't let me stay with them anymore. My community turned their back on me. And so I lived in my car for 2 years while attending school. My whole world was kind of just shaken upside down. Suddenly, without any kind of forewarning, I had my safety net pulled from me. I have a lot of mental illness that I deal with, which the community doesn't acknowledge. So I was left on the street with mental illness, with no real marketable skill. I hadn't finished my college education all the way, and so I didn't have any degree of any kind. And so I really was struggling and didn't have any resources. So I was at LACC, living in an abandoned building. This is the corner I learned algebra in. I did all my math 115 in there. And so I did homework, all of my homework was done in this little nook. This is where I learned math. I lived in that building until I could get financial aid to afford a car. And I lived in that car for 2 years until it stopped working. And then I was literally on the streets, sleeping on a bus bench right on Fountain in Vermont, and attending classes at the same time. The Food Coalition has been an enormous help with my burden of homelessness, particularly because of the overwhelming, horrible feeling of hunger. And that feeling has propelled me to go through a lot of different avenues to kind of quell it. Drugs are, I hate to say it, but an easy solution when you don't have anything. They're cheap, and they kind of give you energy, and they also, they make you not hungry, really. So what the Food Coalition has done for me is given me an alternative to turning to drugs. I was very fortunate that a friend recommended the Food Coalition, and I was able to avoid all of that altogether and have a safe place to get nutritious meals with, super friendly, supportive team that was really helped me go down the right path, I thought. What I like about the Food Coalition is that it is hugely community-oriented. It's community-based, it's volunteer-based, it's good people who recognize that there's a problem, which I think is the first step, is for people to take off their blinders and see that there's a growing epidemic of homelessness around them. Homeless people are not just mindless individuals with no feelings that are just drug addicts. I mean, a lot of us have come to the homelessness through unfortunate circumstances. And so for someone like me who has gone to college and was raised in a nice affluent background could wind up homeless, it could happen to almost anyone, I think. And I think if the community can just acknowledge that it's an actual problem and then just commit to a little bit of time of community service, it really, I think, would do a lot to help the community and save a lot of people that are on the streets, that are needlessly on the streets. Individuals and communities taking personal responsibility for an issue and recognizing that it's a community and human issue is important, which is why now that I am able to, I volunteer at the Food Coalition as much as I can, because I know firsthand how grateful I was for it to have existed and to have sustained me this whole time. And so now I find that it's my duty to then now help others. And so I want to do my part because the Food Coalition has done so much to help me. Through the camaraderie and community I've built with fellow homeless people, I've received a number of tips on where to shower, where to get food, where to get free mental services, mental health services. And so I wanted to be able to kind of disseminate those kind of resources. And so just in the spring, I started a club for homeless students at my school. And the idea is to raise awareness, to reduce stigma, but then also to actually help folks that are in dire straits right now, so they don't have to go to drugs and alcohol or whatever to kind of feel like they belong in their community and to avoid the horrible feeling of hunger. It definitely is a work in progress, going from homeless on the street to being a well-situated person who has food and shelter. Right now I just keep my medicine in there. I have nothing in my fridge. I don't know how to cook really, so the Food Coalition has kind of really saved me in that, I don't have anything to prepare any meal, but I wouldn't know what to do even if I had the food to cook it. Soon I'll have so many books that the books I have in my living room now will come in here. Where right now I keep my cleaning supplies in here, but soon I'll have my entire library in my kitchen. So there you go. That's some food for thought, huh? I'm still food insufficient. I'm not homeless anymore, but I still go to the Hollywood Food Coalition daily. I just went last night. I went the day before that. I go whenever I can afford to, which is the wonderful thing about the Food Coalition. They're open 7 days a week, and so for the times that I don't have any food in my refrigerator, it's nice to have a community that welcomes me, even though I'm not homeless on the street. You know, they turn no one down, which is really great, whether you're homeless or not, which is what I'm so grateful for.